Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. We are on the week of Uprising. Finally, that pay-per-view will be coming out on Sunday, and I can't wait. My name is Darren Jacobs, and I will be commentating both that pay-per-view and here tonight. Kicking off tonight, we have another traditional debut match. This man, his name is William Hale. He is here to make his debut this week. All Hail the One reads his shirt. Clearly coming in here quite confident here on his debut, and that's rare. You very rarely see someone come out and exert such confidence straight away. A lot of people come out with quite an aggressive style, you know, eager to impress. He's coming out here and he's looking to just ease his way into life here in WIW. He's got a tough opponent tonight. This one isn't at random. This has been chosen by the general manager, and you will see why when he makes his way down to the ring. But for William Hale, he won't care for his opponent. He's here tonight to showcase his skills. And he's put on a great show here with the pyrotechnics. The question is, can he step up to the plate and perform when needed? We're on the week of the pay-per-view, missing out on it just barely. But now it's time to welcome down someone who made his debut last week, but had his match interrupted and was straight away thrown in the deep end by putting him in a match with the former world champion, Rage. Rage will be in action tonight's big main event, big for a number of reasons. But for now, we start off the show as A.D Nathaniel has been granted this match by the general manager as a second attempt at his debut. Due to the interruption last week, the general manager has decided he deserves one more chance to really showcase his skills, because all that really happened to him last week was before the interruption, he was getting tossed around by one of the biggest people and the strongest people in WIW history. So he gets a second chance here tonight to show what he's capable of against William Hale. So if you want to count it, if you don't want to count last week, this is technically a debut versus debut match here between William Hale and A.D Nathaniel. But A.D Nathaniel, after last week, is going to be eager to try and impress and improve on what he did last week. But the bell rings, and look at this, straight into a collar and elbow tie-up here. And Hale getting straight to work here, but big counter by A.D Nathaniel. Now, A.D Nathaniel doesn't strike me as much of a technical wrestler like that collar and elbow type we saw a minute ago. He strikes me as more of a brawler type, kind of a street fight style fighter. That's how I personally see him. Of course, quite an extensive background leading up to this debut for him last week. And look at that, Hale straight into the cover there off the spine buster, not wasting any time here tonight. And he's only going to get a 1 count for that early attempt. And of course last week, as mentioned, his debut interrupted by Jayden, if I am not mistaken. Which I might be, I am often mistaken, as pointed out in the comments. Which, by the way, thank you guys so much for all your comments. It's been crazy how much support and comments I've been getting lately. You guys are great, you're awesome, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future as this channel continues to grow. And now look at this, A.D Nathaniel, look at a fly, and oh, Hale just rolls out of the way in time there to avoid the elbow drops. And now A.D Nathaniel going to continue to press forward, and look at this, look at a DDT and connects. And that's what he wants. That's what he's going to need. And Hale still fighting back. Hale showing a lot of technical moves. You know, the collar and elbow tie-ups. A lot of arm twisting. You know, technical. Trying to wear him down. That's what we like in WIW. Some strategists. There aren't many people who go in there with a plan, with a strategy. They go in there with the intention to destroy their opponent. And it looks like William Hale has come up with an opposite approach. He wants to be smart about what he does. He wants to be tactical. Doesn't want to waste anything if he can avoid it. Wants to make the most of every opportunity he gets, and doing so here by just smashing him into the turnbuckle. And A.D Nathaniel getting attacked there with the turnbuckle. Now look at this. Looking for a springboard. Not sure how much damage that did looking at the extent. He went straight into the cover. And A.D Nathaniel started off strong, but hasn't progressed much. And William Hale, just in a hurry, it seems, to get this one wrapped up. There's a big knee, which sends him up on the ropes. And look at this, Nathaniel. Just tossing him over the head and throwing him to the outside. A.D Nathaniel his match cut short last week. We didn't really get to look at his background, what he's done before. Started training with Cody Rhodes, believe it or not, when he was first initially training. And that will explain of course, his finisher, he tells me. But I guess we'll see that if that comes into fruition. But young age, his dad died only at the age of 3, and he's been training ever since. Oh, but look at this! What a submission hold here, but it's not obviously going to be legal, just choking him out there. And you can definitely see this technical ability here from William Hale. And now eager to wrap this one up here. DDT, smack bang in the middle of the ring. And straight into the cover goes A.D Nathaniel. Goes William Hale, excuse me. Looking to pick up his debut victory. But it's only a 2. Debut victories becoming more common as of late since all these new entrants. Oh, look at that. William Hale might have been looking for the end there, but A.D Nathaniel gave himself some space, but only to meet the knee. And straight into the cover. He thinks that might be enough here. Hale, has he done enough damage? No, it's only a 2. But a very close 2.5 count there. Nathaniel finds the strength to kick out. But William Hale, as he has been for the majority of this match, in control. And look at this, much more working down, just wearing him down rather than just a relentless beatdown. Is what he's favouring. And look at this, taking the time to taunt. Very confident fighter in William Hale. And now just look at that. Just wiping his face with the floor and then an elbow drop to the back. And A.D Nathaniel really needs to start mounting some offense here. If he's going to get a chance to push on and mount some offense in this one, he really needs to start coming up with some counters for what Hale's throwing at him. But right now, he just doesn't seem to have an answer for William Hale. And that type of fighter that William Hale is very hard to keep up with when you're a street brawling type of fighter. And Hale's really showing off here tonight, and there's another DDT. He's looking confident, but he's not done yet. Wants to make sure, doesn't want to waste another cover attempt. Oh, look at that, just a cheap little slap across the face there. The crowd are really getting behind this one. It has been a wrestling masterclass, has to be said so far, from William Hale. And he doesn't look like he's quite done yet. Look at this. Using the ropes for a bit of leverage here. What's he thinking? Oh, look at this. Just delivering the knees. Oh, and he's cut him open as he crashes to the outside. Not good signs at all. The referee begins the count. And he left it a little late there. Only a 1 count. Hale was down for a minute or two there. And now look at this. Nathaniel finally starting to fight back there with a knee drop to the top of the head. He really needs to impress here this week. He didn't do a very good job of doing that last week, despite the fact his match was cut short. And right now, Hale is definitely getting the better of him. Count of 6 here. Might want to get this one back in the ring. And it looks like Nathaniel is going to do just that. Oh, look at this. Playing to the crowd. He's saying this one's not over. He's still got some fight left in him, but he's going to need to start mounting some offense. And he's trying to do that here. Big takedown. But picks him straight back up. Not wasting the momentum he's got here. There's a clothesline. And another one. Scooping him up. Oh, no. Decided against it. And there's a clothesline. And now all of a sudden William Hale in trouble. This spell of momentum into the spine buster of his own. And now stomping away on the guard. Look at this. What's he thinking? Oh, and a big stomp. And all of a sudden, we're just in a space of like 30 seconds, William Hale taking some big hits. And A.D Nathaniel bringing out that brawler-type mentality. And now looking to wrap it up. Finally, we get to see the move. He calls this Roll in Peace. R.I.P. for William Hale's debut. And A.D Nathaniel picks up... No! No, it's a 2 count. Unbelievable. And look at this. He did not like that at all. Stomping away there. He did not impressed at the fact that he kicked out at 2. He thought he'd won it there, but he has been taking majority of the beating. Look at that. And a running power slam. Slap bang in the middle of the ring. And all of a sudden, A.D Nathaniel with the momentum. But William Hale still has some fight left in him. Oh, and he's gone straight into the cover there. Trying to capitalize there while A.D Nathaniel was caught off guard. It's a kick out at 2. And now looking for that DDT for a 3rd time. Connects right on top of the head. And he's already bleeding. He's taken a punch. Well, punch being a generous. But now looking to wrap this one up himself. What does he have to offer? Right on the knee. And William Hale surely has done it now. 2, 3, he's done it. William Hale picks up his debut victory in WIW. That was a much needed result for William Hale. And he wins in quite spectacular fashion. Quite dominated this one. And a disappointing result there for A.D Nathaniel. But that was a very impressive matchup. Why are there subtitles? I have no idea what's going on. But A.D Nathaniel, oh dear, look at this. William Hale, look from behind. William Hale, he's not done. He's not done. He wants to make an example straight out the gate here. Oh, no, what's he thinking? Look at this, just crashing him into the steel steps. And that is definitely one way to get yourself noticed on your debut. William Hale making it clear that he is here to make people pay, but also to pick up wins and destroy anyone in his way. Big win for William Hale, and what a statement made on his debut. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Match number 2 on the card tonight, and we have a continuation following last week. Oh, and look at this. Doesn't this ring a bell? Mason Foster doing exactly what Stephen Miller did to him. Not wasting any time to just bring it down. I really don't know why all of a sudden there's subtitles, but we're going to continue anyway. Mason Foster requesting this rematch and now getting one back on Stephen Miller for his attack last week. But that did result in Stephen Miller picking up the win. Is that going to help Mason Foster get the win? It's not a good start coming out of this gate. And the hostility between these two have really built. Remember, this all started because Mason Foster was pinned a couple of weeks ago by Jax Wolfe, which granted Jax Wolfe access to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Stephen Miller blamed Mason Foster for it, called him out for a match, and he picked up the victory in that match. But Mason Foster quickly requested a rematch after Stephen Miller made an impact in that match by running in and charging at him straight away, not giving him a second to realize what was going on. And it looks like this week he's going to do the exact same thing. Karma comes back around, as they say. And Mason Foster now trying to take advantage. He's giving himself an early opportunity to get some damage in before the bell is rung. But now just trying to do whatever's necessary. Oh, look at this. Oh, big knee there by Stephen Miller. And the hostility between these two has grown exponentially in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, they won't conclude this at the pay-per-view, but I feel like at the next Mayhem pay-per-view, we might be seeing an end to this one. Or maybe we won't see an end to this at all. We could have another case of Tyson Jackson and Original Brad. Just a never-ending rivalry. Who knows? WIW is a funny place. But for right now, these two men trying to make names for themselves in division. They're both relatively fresh out of their debuts. And they've both made quick impacts. But I guess one of them just wants to prove they're better than the other. And that's really what this comes down to. But when these two taking it in turns to quick attack the other before the beginning of the match. First cover here by Stephen Miller. It's a 1. Just trying to prove they're better than the other. And God knows where this rematch will lead. But right now, Stephen Miller looking great out of the gate here. The real deal, he calls himself. And he's proven that so far. A debut victory. Yet to be pinned, if I am not mistaken. I can possibly be wrong about that. But I do believe that Stephen Miller has yet to be pinned. But that does not mean he is undefeated. No, it does not. Mason Foster, of course, his defeat to Jax Wolfe also led to Stephen Miller's defeat, which explained Miller's hostility. Look at this. Miller is going to get to the other side of the ropes. He's just going to give himself some breathing room. That's a wise move, and Mason Foster was willing to let him do it for a second. But now crashing him down to the outside. And now what's he got planned? Oh, look at this. Just hammering away the fists on the outside. And straight up. Mason Foster going to toss him back into the ring. And now what's he thinking? Oh, and a massive running super kick there. Didn't need much room to get it off either. But Stephen Miller just shakes it off and comes up with a counter. And it's playing to the crowd. The crowd not having any of it though. They're not big fans of Steve Miller. But Steve Miller doesn't care. The real deal only concerns himself with results. And those 3 big clotheslines might help him do just that. To the corner. Mason Foster really has not quite done the impact that he wanted. But he has caught him there. And that's busted Miller open. That might give him an opening that he needs to pull away. Explode a suplex. And that might be enough. Stephen Miller. Oh, and it's a 2 count. And look at that. Complaining that there was a little stutter on the count there, Mason Foster. And now going for the ending. What's he got planned? Look at this. Pop-up powerbomb. And Stephen Miller is defeated by Mason. Oh! Mason Foster can't get the job done. Another 2 count. And he can't believe his eyes. He's shocked by that one. He thought he had this one wrapped up. But Stephen Miller fights on. But he has taken some hits. And once again needs to start fighting back. And he does so. Beautiful shot to the jaw. And all of a sudden, he's caught him off guard. Look at that. Flatliner. Not even a flatliner. I don't know why I said that. They're pretty similar moves, I guess. Straight into the cover. Stephen Miller looking to steal this one from under the nose of Mason Foster. It's a 2 count. And the hostility between these two grows exponentially every second they stay in the ring with each other. But Miller has no intention of staying in this match much longer. Sit out tombstone pile driver. Slap bang in the middle of the ring. And into the cover. Has Steve Miller done it again? Yes, he has. And although Mason Foster tried to get revenge by attacking him before the match, just like Stephen Miller did last week, he still could not get the job done. And Mason Foster picks up another defeat at the hands of Stephen Miller. 2nd week in a row. That was a big turning point there, that one. But this was it again. That sit out tombstone pile driver. Just like last week, getting the job done. And Stephen Miller walks out with another win. This man on a tear through WIW. Rising to the top. But I have a feeling this one's still not done. You can tell by the blood that has been spilled in this one. These two still with a lot of anger towards each other. And I have a feeling that we could be seeing these two in the ring again very soon. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up on the card tonight, we have the League of Gods coming down here. Not for some tag team action, for a little bit of singles action. They're both being action tonight though. Just one of them couldn't make the main event because the numbers just didn't add up. Here come the League of Gods though, and it is Black Jesus stepping up here in this match, but Durmus will be representing the team in the main event. These two, of course, will be going to the main event of the Uprising pay-per-view this Sunday as they go for the Money in the Bank. And they enter the Money in the Bank ladder match with the hopes of getting themselves a title shot for the WIW Championship or the WIW Heavyweight Championship whenever they decide. That is completely up to them. But tonight, Black Jesus has a task at hand because he's taking on another half of a tag team. And Durmus, later on tonight, is going to be a part of a huge 8-man, that's right, 8-man battle royal between some of the most of the participants in part of the biggest matches from the Monday Night Mayhem side at the Uprising pay-per-view. And up next to the ring, you can tell by the dark, mysterious music, and, well, not the dark music, the dark atmosphere, but also the music as well. It's a one half of the Dragon Dynasty that'll be coming up to compete here tonight in this matchup. The Dragon Dynasty and the League of Gods would be an interesting matchup, to say the very least. And tonight, it's not Jackson in action, it's Lance in action, and that is 10 times scarier than anything they could have heard. I guess that's why maybe Durmus was more willing to take the Battle Royal in tonight's main event than to compete against Lance. Lance is a tough man, very, very strong, very, very hard to keep down, as a lot of people have found out since having to deal with this man. The Dragon Dynasty really developing themselves, and got to imagine they're going to be eager to push for the Monday Night Mayhem Tag Team Championships as soon as they can. Right now, the Tag Team Championships will not be defended at the pay-per-view. They will be defended again soon, I am sure of that. But, of course, they got called out by the Wolfpack, and Linebacks never one to back down from challenges. So here tonight, the Dragon Dynasty. What can they bring to the table here? It's Lance and Black Jesus. Two very powerhouse, strong style fighters. What can they do? And look at this. Jesus straight away went straight for the lift, and once again, Lance able to just power out there. And these two, very, very similar fighters as I mentioned. Both just pure powerhouses. Just try to land the big moves and the big strikes to wrap it up as quickly as possible. And Durmus, of course, more of a tacticianist, but also a bit of a showboater, because he spends more time in the ring taunting and making fun of people before landing moves than actually getting the job done. And that has led to quite a series of downfall for Durmus, but in his eyes, he's still undefeated. And I guess if you're happy in yourself, that's all that really matters. And there's a big boot there by Lance. Tyson Jackson didn't get off to the best of starts in Monday Night Mayhem, but since this man Lance debuted, things have really turned the tide for him. No way. Look at this. Jesus is in trouble. Already to put this one away, Lance. Big boot. Discus, big boot. And Jesus might be done for already. Straight into the cover by Lance. Oh no, it's a 2 count. Look at that. Durmus getting the crowd behind him as he watches his tag partner kick out of that one. And Tyson Jackson, as I mentioned, as I was saying, didn't get off to the best of starts, but since Lance has come in, they've done well. They've proven themselves in singles and in tag team action. So there's no reason at all to doubt them. And Black Jesus, he's proven himself in singles action in the past. And the League of Gods, they've proven themselves in tag team action as well. Undefeated, genuinely, has to be said. And now look at this. Onto the ropes. And a big press. I mean, technically they lost their first tag team match, but it was a 4-on-4 on the last episode of Friday Fight Night, where they teamed with the other participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The rest of them will be competing tonight. And look at the strength of Black Jesus. With a massive suplex there on Lance. And now trying to fight back here. Oh, and he went for the spinning back fist. But he got caught. He got caught there by Lance. Up on the shoulders, but he wriggles out of it. Now might look for it again, and he does. Spinning back fist. And straight into the cover. Looking to put down Lance. Can he do it? No, it's only a 2. And Jesus now, with a new lease of life. After I thought that Lance was about to just destroy him in a matter of a minute. But now all of a sudden Black Jesus looking to put away Lance. Looking for the spinning powerbomb. Connects. Massive impact down. Decides against bridging for the cover in favor of going away from the ropes. But into the cover he goes. Lance is in trouble here. This could be Lance's first loss here. No, it's only a 2. And Black Jesus could have sworn he thought that was a 3. But Lance, as continuously proves, he just doesn't stay down. Into a cover of his own. He's only going to get a 1. But look at this. Screaming at the crowd. This man is confident. He knows that no one can keep him down. But Jesus trying to prove, on the contrary, if he can. Picks him up. And now look at this. Oh, was thinking military press there. Couldn't quite connect. And these two powerhouses brawling out. These two just trying to do everything it takes to put the other away. But so far, no one has been quite successful in doing so. Look at this. Continuously snapping the neck. And Durmus did not like the sight of that one. And into the cover straight away, thinking he's worn him down enough. It's only a 1, though. And that is not good signs for Lance, considering he's already had a 2 count earlier in the match. Gets him straight up to the shoulders. Durmus doesn't wriggle out this time, and he gets stunned off the ropes. And picked straight back up. Lance to the corner. Jesus is in trouble all of a sudden. But look at this, he powers out of the corner, and it's a DDT from Durmus, not Durmus, Jesus, and straight into the cover. It's a 2. Oh! And that was a big 2 count there. And that looked promising for a second there, and Durmus and Tyson Jackson just watching on from the sidelines. Must be enjoying this one, to be honest. Look at this. Oh, and just tossing him over his shoulder there. And now once again, just wearing down in the neck and shoulder region. Lance want to make it easy for himself. He got off to a great start, but he slowed down since then. But now trying to get back on the right track. Massive move there. And all of a sudden, Lance back in control. And looking to put it away here if he can. Black Jesus is in trouble. Big power bomb. Dragging him away from the ropes. Could go straight into the cover, he does. Is that going to be enough for Lance to put down? But Jesus is another 2 count. And he can't believe his eyes, Lance. Jesus proving to be as resilient as he is. But now finally trying to put him away once and for all here. Scoop him up on the shoulders. Gets him up for a tombstone pile driver. And we've seen that pick up a victory already once here tonight. Has it done it for Lance? Straight into the cover. 1, 2. No, it's still a 2. Look at this. Durmus can't believe his eyes. He had no interest in letting his teammate continue to take a heat. Take the heat. And now all of a sudden, look at this. Went for a diving elbow and missed. Jesus still with a lease of life in him despite bleeding. And now look at this. Jesus ready to put him away. Looking for another spinning powerbomb. Look at this. Big connection spinning powerbomb. Straight into the cover though. Has he done it? Has he finally beaten Lance? No, it's another 2. These 2 men, neither of them will just go down. Neither of them is going to stay dead. And now look at this. Them big fists in the corner. Lovely combination before just tossing him across the ring. Lance will not go down. Jesus will not go down. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? That's exactly what we're trying to find out here tonight. But neither of these guys are providing us an answer. Oh, look at this. A bit of taunting here from Jesus now. Almost saying, I got this, guys, don't worry. But does he really have it? Because right now, Lance is just proving too much for him. But he has kept up. And look at this, continuing to land them big, heavy power bombs. And there's one from the deadlift possession. And all of a sudden, Lance is looking like he is in trouble. He looks in control for the majority of the match. But Jesus, with these big momentary spells of control, have helped him keep in this fight. There's a neck snap over the shoulder. And now look at this, wrenching away. Trying to make him tap if he can. Lance is in a bit of trouble here. Tyson Jackson doesn't seem overly concerned though, because he knows that Lance is able to power out, and he does so just there. And now back up on the shoulders. That's not where Jesus wants to be. But look at that, he's rocking there, just trying to break himself free. Oh, and look at that. Big slam down. Right as Jesus looked like he was preparing for an escape there. And now look, another neck snap over the shoulders. This time by Lance. And look at that. That elbow cuts him open. And now try to capitalize and gets done with a hip toss. In the counter of the belly-to-belly that he attempted. And straight into the cover goes Lance. What a match this has been. But is this finally done it? It's another 2. Look at this. Lance doesn't know what to do. And that is the look we usually see when people try to cover Lance, and it only ends in a 2. And now Lance, we see it on his face. Signs of panic. But can he finally put it away? Straight into the cover. No hesitation. Has he done it here tonight? 2, 3, he's done it. Lance has finally kept him down. And Black Jesus, it just like he was not going to go down. He seemed like he was just going to keep fighting until the end. But Lance picks up the win. Big victory for Lance and the Dragon Dynasty. And this man just refuses to lay down and die. Oh no. Oh, look at this. Going to continue to wear him down in the ring. He's not finished. And the League of Gods. That's not going to put Black G's in a good position coming into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Another massive victory for Lance and a big defeat for the League of Gods. Are we looking at a similar fate for them in the Money in the Bank ladder match at Uprising? I guess we'll find out, but it's time to move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, the second half of the Wolfpack versus the Lineback single matches. And it looks like tonight the Wolfpack are going to make their Monday Night Mayhem debut. More specifically, Stephen Thomas is going to be making his debut. He's going to be stepping in the ring tonight with Kazarian Xander. One half of the Mayhem Tag Team Champions versus one half of the Fight Night Tag Team Champions. And Stephen is here, looking to rain down the terror if he can. But look at this. Whoa, what the hell? Look at this. Neither of these teams waiting for it. Look at this. Xander has no interest in waiting for the match. And he's going to go to the ring. I'm a little bit confused what's happening here, because it looks like Green and David are not interested in fighting each other, but it looks like Steve and Xander have no interest in waiting. Oh, but there we go. Now David's on the attack. Look at that. Just tosses him across the ring, and there's a spear by Steve. And Steve's going to go to the back into the ring. And look at this. Tossing Patrick Green into the ring. And now Kazarian gets met with a Superman punch. And tried to get the jump here if he could. But look at this. And look at this. These two just brawling on the outside. Now look at this. Patrick Green's back. And that might mean trouble for David. But look at this. Tries not to. Oh, what was David thinking there? Oh, look at this. Big kick. Whoa, look. He's saying, and David saying to get back into the ring. He wants this match to go on. Oh, but look at this. But Patrick Green thinking about what's going on. A title's just spawned in the ring. I'm not quite sure what that means. Looks like this match. Oh, look at this. And crashing into David before getting into the ring. And I don't know if the referee's planning on starting this one or not. He hasn't been prone to doing it this week or last week. And once again, the referee's turned around and said this match is not in it to start. And the final match on Monday Night Mayhem before the pay-per-view, and it's a big one. It's another Battle Royal, this one being an 8-man Battle Royal. And what's this going to do? This is going to prove dominance for whoever wins. We have 3 of the 4 members in the Money in the Bank ladder match participating. And we also have everyone competing in the title matches at the pay-per-view. That will, for Monday Night Mayhem's brand. First up tonight is Durmus, and just after watching his teammate getting beat down, he might be a little bit worried here tonight. He doesn't want to take too much of the hits, because at Money in the Bank, he might have to be doing heavy lifting if, of course, the plan was for him and Jesus to work together to get the briefcase. He's going to have to step up for the team now after the beating you just took, so he's going to probably try to avoid as much of a beating as possible here tonight. But Durmus is a wise man. He knows how to do that very well. He's been practicing a lot of avoiding fights that he doesn't want to get involved in. But tonight he's got a tough one, because he's got to avoid 7 men and somehow pick up a victory if he can. But you know Durmus, he'll find a reason why this doesn't count if he picks up the L. He'll find a reason why it doesn't count. Next up tonight, a man who has really shown himself here lately. It's Jax Wolfe. Hasn't picked up as many wins as he'd like, but he's definitely doing better than he was in the trial era. That is for sure. But since coming back, he's been thrown into a lot of handicap matches, tag team matches. Not the type of matches that he wants to be in. The name Wolfe tells you all you need to know. He's a lone wolf, though. He's not a wolf pack. This man has been put up against tag teams. He's been put up in tag team matches, and that's not his style. He likes to get in there one-on-one and do the beatings down, as he tries to show week in, week out. He puts some good performances in these handicap matches, which is why I guess the general manager is eager to put him in over other people. However, he likes to do it when it's free-for-all style, and he also likes to beat people down one-on-one. But tonight, he's got to deal with 7 men. How is he going to fare? This is good practice for him. This is very good practice for him. Coming in to the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's going to be a massive match, by the way. Can he walk out with a Money in the Bank briefcase? Remains to be seen, but he'll be hoping. And the last member of the Money in the Bank ladder match now coming down to the ring. The man who surprised everyone by picking up his victory. It is Max Cotterrell, winning a 6-man Battle Royal last week, and now this week getting tossed straight back in to win another Battle Royal, this time an 8-man. But he's got much tougher competition in this one, let me guarantee you of that. But Max Cotterrell surprises everyone all the time. Right when you think the Cotterells are dead and buried and their careers are over, here they come into tag team, or out of tag team divisions and into singles division, and they are just as strong and just as dominant. And Max is a perfect illustration of that, and securing his spot in the Money in the Bank. If he was to walk out with that briefcase, could they look to go and seek revenge on the Wolfpack potentially? Of course, they can cash in on the World Heavyweight Championship if he so chooses. That is completely up to him, but for Max Cotterrell, for now, he won't worry about when he's going to cash it in. All he wants to do is, all he's going to want to do is probably hurt people with the ladders. You probably shouldn't trust someone like Mad Max with weapons and make them legal. Never a safe thing to do when stepping foot in the ring with this man. But next up tonight, other members outside of the Money in the Bank ladder match. More specifically, someone we haven't seen, well, it feels like we haven't seen in quite a while. With all these debuts coming in and all these people trying to prove their spots in Money in the Bank, in the pay-per-views, trying to prove their place just in general in terms of the rankings. But this man knows what it means to start off slow but rise to the top. It is Brad Skeens, the #1 contender, once again for the United States. The #1 contender for the European Championship. He'll be taking on Jace once again. And this time he'll be hoping for better results. Put on a great showing against Jace. But Jace, being his dominant self, he could not get the job done. And tonight would give him some great momentum coming into Uprising pay-per-view. He claims that he will rise to the top. He wants to be the first ever American European champion. He'll be the first non-European to win the title. He'll be the second ever. Set to make history, Brad Skeens, if the odds roll in his favour. But can he get the job done here tonight? I feel like for a lot of these people, may not be a case of, all out, destroy their opponent. It'd be a lot of safety fighting and protecting themselves. Just trying to stay out of trouble and take as less hits as possible, knowing that the pay-per-view is this Sunday. And they all have one goal, and that is to walk out either champion or with a championship opportunity in the case of the Money in the Bank ladder participants. Next man down to the ring, Jayden. A man who will be part of the triple threat for the WIW Championship. One of the biggest matches that's going to be at the Uprising pay-per-view. A rivalry that's been brewing between these three, caught in a hate triangle. And Jayden, of course, the reason that Aaron Albright is champion, but since then, Albright has made it clear he has no interest in maintaining his services. Jayden made it clear he had no intention of being his lapdog by attacking him just about, 5 seconds after he won the title? And he has a point to prove tonight, and he's hoping to do just that if he can. So can Jayden pick up a big win here tonight? He says he's been attacked and beaten up all month long. At the pay-per-view, he'll get a chance to lay down the smackdown of his own. And he's been doing so in these last couple of weeks as well, just trying to get his own foot in the door. But Aaron Albright proving to be quite dominant since becoming the WIW champion. And he's only getting stronger. And from one person who's getting stronger to one man who's coming across looking a lot weaker as of late. Maybe the fact that he has lost the title has knocked his confidence. But this man who we once called the unbeaten one is now on a massive losing streak. Still without a win this month, if I am not mistaken. It is Rage. Hasn't picked up a lot of momentum. Oh, technically, no, he did win last week after Jayden put him in an E-bar that nearly snapped his leg. Doctor said he's taking a few minor bumps, but he is okay to compete. But for Rage, he's been beaten down these last couple of weeks. He's been blindsided, attacked, and quite honestly humiliated at times. But He's trying to fight back, and the only way he knows how, by beating down anyone who steps in his way. Well, those are all the contenders and the Money in the Bank participants. So now it is time to bring down the champions. And the first man who will be doing just that is, of course, the European champion, Rage and Jace, on quite good terms, as we understand. And these two haven't quite collided as much as we maybe expected. But here comes Jace, rocking his new look. The European Championship still firmly around his waist. Not sure what happened to the nameplates. I'll fix that. But Jace coming down here again. Coming to claim his rise to the top, the European Champion. We'll have to deal with Brad Skeens, and tonight he can get a little bit of damage done to him. But not his usual fiery demon kind of character that we're used to seeing here. He's looking a lot more confident. Maybe the European Championship was what he needed to give him a confidence boost. Maybe not thinking now that he needs to go in every week and destroy an opponent just to prove a point. Maybe now feeling as if, though, he's at the top of the mountain. And as European Champion, despite the fact he didn't even want it to begin with, all of a sudden, the European Championship is looking in a happy, looking to have a happy host in Jace. And coming down to the ring, the last man who has been in absolute phenomenal form since becoming the WIW champion, not by traditional circumstances, but he'll take what he can get, and especially lately since he's beaten them. He's beaten Albright, he's beaten Jayden, he's beaten Rage, he's beaten anyone who's been put in front of him realistically. And he has been dominant since becoming the WIW champion. It is Aaron Albright down here tonight to complete this 8-man battle royal, which is going to be a great way to end the show. The WIW champion and the European champion step into the ring. I do not believe that these two have faced each other since winning the title. And of course, Aaron Albright was a part of the 8-man battle royal at which Jace won his first title and became the European champion, and he's held it since then. But for Aaron Albright, got a ticket to the top due to Jayden's injury, and he took it well, and since then he's been dominant. But coming up to his first title defense in a massive triple threat match, can he defend when the odds aren't exactly in his favor? But tonight he has to try and escape this one. And here we go, all 8 men in the ring, and we are on the way. Battling on here, this is what we got to do. And look at this. And again, these battles locking on once again. The WIW champion and the European champion battling out in the middle of the ring. Oh, look at this, we already have an elimination. We already have an elimination. Jax Wolfe is gone already. Brad Skeens wasted no time getting his first elimination of this match. And Max Cotterrell's in a bit of trouble here. Rage trying to get rid of him. The size mismatch in that one, that's quite a disadvantage. Meanwhile, Durmus and Jayden battling on. Quite an even match up there. Similar height. I'd imagine quite similar builds. They're both quite strong men, but not like massive weight-wise in comparison to Rage. And now Aaron Albright, as Jace rolls out of harm's way, dealing with Brad Skeens, who of course is the #1 contender for the European Championship at Uprising pay-per-view, which is scheduled to be a great one. And now look at this, a chop to the gut. And now look at this, look at pick up elimination. Oh, and Max ran into a military press, but he's managed to escape the champion. And now look at this, trying to target Brad Skeens, but Brad Skeens is on fire tonight, not letting anyone beat him down. And interestingly enough, Albright avoiding his two #1 contenders in Jayden and Rage, who have locked horns here. And look at this, Brad Skeens looking to pick up another elimination. Elimination number 2 he's going for here. Oh, look at this, Durmus trying to help push Albright and Max out. And Max survives. And it looks like Albright might not. The European champion might get one up here on the WIW champion. Didn't quite do the job. And now look at this, these two continue to battle. These two have been battling from the beginning, Jace and Aaron Albright. And now look at this, Durmus in trouble. His tag team partner's already lost tonight, but now Durmus is in trouble of losing as Jayden almost picks up an elimination, couldn't quite toss him over that top rope. And now just look at this. The punch is coming in. Rage finally getting back to his feet. It's a slow start for him. Oh, look at that. And Jayden nearly left there. Managed to hang on to the bottom rope. And now in the corner, Rage once again working away on Mad Max. And a big slam down out of the corner. And Jace had to roll out of harm's way as well. But he springs back to his feet pretty quickly. And now look at this. Max is in trouble. The big man once again trying to pick up the elimination. Just trying to toss him over the rope. Trying to get rid of him if he can. And he does. Quite relative ease there. Poor Max got victimized. And now look at this. Rage going after the man who took the title from him. Aaron Albright in a bit of trouble here as he's on the top of the turnbuckle. And he's in a really bad position. And he's got him. Rage finally gets the better of Aaron Albright. And the WIW champion gets eliminated early here in this one. Well, we're down to 5 men. He can't believe that. He managed to fight it on. And now look at this. Jace! Oh, Jace! Massive super kick, and there goes Durmus. And people aren't wasting any time here looking for these eliminations. And now Skeens trying to eliminate Rage, but Rage making him pay there with a massive headbutt. Meanwhile, the European champion being worked on here by Jayden, and Jace did not get off to the best of relationships to begin with. They did not have a liking for one another. And now look at this. Big kick to the gut. And a stomp to the face before a big elbow. And Brad Skeens. Here we go. Brad Skeens and the European champion Jace locking horns once again. Right before their pay-per-view battle. And now look at this. He had him in the fireman's carry. Couldn't capitalize. And look at Durmus slowly walking away, trying to figure out what happened there. Maybe just trying to come up with another excuse as to why this does not count. And look at this, Skeens with an elbow of his own. These two battling on here. Just trying to do whatever it takes. And Rage gets back up now, and he's going to try and work on Jayden. But Jayden slides out, only to get met with another clothesline. And now look at this. Suplexes. 2 of them over there. And looking for one more, maybe, on his #1 contender. There it is again. And Brad Skeens and Jace, last time those two locked horns, it was a great match. And now look at this. Oh, and big power bomb down. And now Skeens and Jayden locking up. And Rage having to force Jace to roll under that bottom rope to try and get out of harm's way. And now look at this. Rage has got Skeens in a bad position. And he's gone. Skeens is eliminated. And Jace eliminates him. Jace eliminates Jayden. And Skeens eliminates Rage eliminates Brad Skeens. And now we have the former world champion against the current European champion. Jace and Rage left in the ring. And this could be really good. Last week, maybe Jayden might have inadvertently helped him there by helping him pick up the disqualification win. Because now he's straight back on top. And now look at this. A submission hold just trying to wear him down. And look at this. Holding it in for as long as possible. Of course, can't win like this. But if you can choke down the big man, you can might make things easier to help get him out of the ring. And now Rage fighting out of it. Continues to fight on. And now look at this. Oh, he scoops him up. This is not where he wants to be. Look at this. Oh, and a running crash into the turnbuckle and a running power slam to follow. Look at that. Massive, massive impact there. And, oh, and a big clubbing forearm. And now look at Jace, the European champion, trying to get the job done. Trying to get the elimination if he can on the big man. But Rage refusing to lay down. But now trying to trade strikes. And you do not want to get caught trading strikes with Rage. He will make you pay, but a big counter there. Oh, look at this. Grabbing him by the throat here is Jace. And a big gut punch. Taking the WIW champion off his feet. And now look at this. Skipping him up. Big slam down. And now, look at this. Jace. What's he thinking? Up on the shoulders. Looking for a GTS. Connects. And looking to follow through with the punt kick if he can. Connects. And Rage is in serious trouble. He's been worn down quite a bit here. And I think Jace might be walking out of the victor in this one. I don't know how much longer Rage is going to be able to stay in this one. He's been beaten down. And I feel like right now he could just be tossed out over the top rope. But just still trying to fight on Rage. But he just can't do it. The former WIW champion's not had the best of months. But for Jace, it's been quite an easy month for him. Hasn't been in much in-ring action. But look at this, military press and slam down. And the European Championship will be defended, and so will the WIW Championship. We could see these two walk out as champions again. It could be a completely different set. Could be a mismatch. One could walk out and the other might not. But for Rage, he'll do whatever it takes to walk out the champion if he can. And look at this. Rage fighting back. But can he do it? Can he get the elimination? He does! Rage with a big win, catching him off guard with the clothesline. And that was a huge win for Rage for the final match of the go-home show of the pay-per-view. Before the pay-per-view, a big, big win that was needed. And although Rage looked like Jace had things under control, he got caught off guard, and that momentary lapse gave him the room he needed, and Rage gets back to winning the ways. Technically 2 on the bounce now, if you want to count that disqualification victory last week. But that is the final match before Uprising for the Monday Night Mayhem brand, and that is going to conclude today's show. Big win for Rage, giving him momentum coming into the pay-per-view. Well, hopefully that will turn his losing streak back in the right direction, back into the winning run that he had to begin with. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and comment your thoughts and feelings on the show. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.